And welcome back. We have John W. Spring, our basically geographic and intel analyst. So, John W., we have actually some contacts we're working to get you directly in front of and connected to, either by telemedicine, secure line, or face-to-face with POTUS. One of our latest contacts, actually, we have through our Seer and Talk Radio, and I'm not going to give any details of that, but we're working hard to get you one way or another in front of the president, because we have to actually get information through so he has proper information to choose from to figure out what the heck's going on, right?
Absolutely.
And the problem is, you see, I believe that Trump wants to do the right thing. I think he's a good man. But I think the problem I see is that he's got very bad intel, and he's surrounded by people that, to me, are, how can I say this? They're disturbingly off the talent. They're just not right. Right?
Yeah, that's pretty much the situation. And you've got to understand that this is not the president's area of expertise. I mean, just the other day, he said that he was going to build a wall along the border with Colorado. And, of course, Colorado does not have a border with Mexico.
No, I think he was sort of off. I think he's under a lot of stress. First off, and I use this sarcastically, I think he's not going to be impeached by Nancy Pelosi. I call her, changed her name a bit like Trump does. I think he's being impeached by the Diet Coke he drinks because he's the fattest president since William Howard Taft. But the man is very good at business. He's actually a great negotiator, which is why he's working on arrangements with Russia and China. But there's major areas of either he's got poor intel information or bad advisors. And the way he runs the presidency, and I'm going to use this analogy, he runs the presidency like a game show host. So he hears 4 or 5 opinions of areas he doesn't have expertise in, and if one sounds right and is properly presented, he chooses it, which is not good. He needs to get good intel from people out in the public like you and I that are in the trenches that know stuff he doesn't know or know stuff that he's not going to hear from through his advisors, because many of them are on the left or on the right, or they're like this so-called agent that's a whistleblower, this guy that's a fake whistleblower, that says he heard of the conversation about Ukraine, and of course it's the basis for Adam Schiff. I've changed the last 2 letters of his name to TT and then FF. And the crazy attempt to try to impeach Trump when they don't have bipartisan support, and it'll die in the Senate, and it'll probably destroy the Democrats, so they'll never be elected for a generation because they've done it. They're do-nothing Democrats. But Trump basically, in the polls, is losing because the younger people don't have the brains or common sense, and they listen to the media to understand that communism and socialism will kill them, control them, force vaccinate them, and if they get seriously ill or old, they'll end up being terminated. They don't understand that. They're going to lose their autonomy to a communist socialist system, and believe me, America always overachieves. So if communism comes here, it'll be worse than Soviet Russia 100 years ago.
Yes. Yes, it will be.
It won't just be minor socialism, like in Canada, which is now slowly mutated to kill people when they're older, like my parents. It'll be really bad socialism.
Yes. I just had a chance to watch with my wife, Jane Fonda, on The View this morning.
Right.
And she's apparently now a very strong advocate of climate change. And basically she said we cannot come about with any gradual measures. They're going to have to be very drastic. And by that she means basically total control of the American people.
She's like many of these leftist people. They're basically a front for bankers and globalist bankers like the Rothschilds. They're de-insuring people that are being burned out in Northern California that don't understand anything in the environment. I was a charter member of Greenpeace 50 years ago when I was an oceanographer before I went into medicine. And now here's the things that we should do. Number one, we should recycle everything. So it goes down to tiny cubes of materials right back to base metals after being put through a plasma furnace. Number two, we should not have smokestack putting out any toxic waste to the environment that circulates the planet, no matter which country its origin is, whether it's China and India that are putting out most of the airborne pollution. Number three, we need to make sure that we actually protect our Earth and our power grid system by planting plasma lines and having tokamak fusion reactors so we don't have to use other things. But it's not coal or other things. For example, I took care of the coal generating plants in Colorado, And we have such clean filtration systems. The only thing coming out of the top of the coal-fired generators from good low sulfur anthracite coal in the Wyoming Sea, big enough for the holders power for a quarter millennium, for a quarter million years, is the water vapor. So the environmentalists are nuts. We need to upgrade the engineering of the now toxic oceans and the phytoplankton, which is easy to do to upgrade the phytoplankton. But those simple things I mentioned, we need to plant more trees. We've cut down half the trees, but most of the oxygen is in the upper 10 meters or 30 feet of the ocean benthic layer. Now, the idea that these environmaniacs don't understand carbon dioxide is not the main greenhouse gas, it's methylene, it's methyl groups. And
that's so true.
Mount Erebus in Antarctica generates 50,000 times more carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases than all the industrial waste in all the companies and all the countries in the world. These people are freaking idiots. They make me ill. And if you want to solve the pollution problem, we've already done it. For example, I remember going visit in the 70s to the Los Angeles, looking at a job and going to UCLA there and the VA hospital. And the pollution was pretty high. We've already done enough right now to reduce the pollution by probably 70 to 90%. So the idea it can't be reduced in other countries like China and India is stupid. Of course we can. We can recycle everything. There shouldn't be any land waste with any waste there. It should be completely recycled. We should have recycled tunnels underground. So when you drop something through a recycling thing, it should go zip on a recycling plant and it's immediately turned back into its base minerals. And then if you want to build something, you can have a 3D printer in your garage or in your factory, and you 3D print the parts that you need or whatever, plastics, metals, etc. There's no need to have any landfills. There's no need to dump plastic out in the ocean so it kills the fish or whatever. There's no need to have smokestacks putting out pollution. So this idea that somehow the world's going to end, it's going to end from stupidity, not lack of action. Actions, like I mentioned, would fix the problem, and it's easy to do at minimal cost. For example, when we had the plastic out that we are exporting from America to have being recycled in Asia, do you know what the Asians did? They decided it was too expensive to recycle it, so they dumped it in the ocean. So now in this area north, in the mid-Pacific, 3 times the size of Texas has got more plastic than fish in the oceans. It's man's stupidity and arrogance and inability to do the right thing that's causing the problem. Certainly not the number of people on Earth, which they want to reduce, or the amount of so-called power we generate, which they want to get rid of our so-called fossil fuels, which are never fossil fuels. The Earth is a nuclear reactor that creates larger hydrocarbons, coal, and oil 30 to 40,000 feet down, deeper than any dinosaur or fern ever existed, even 100 million years ago. This is foolish garbage, and need to shut up. And if they talk to scientists like me who know the facts, they need to stop talking and start listening, right?
Yes.
I'm sick
Absolutely.
of it. And if they want to challenge me, come on to my show and I'm going to do an intellectual vivisection. I'll cut you up so fast you won't know you ever had a brain or a cortex. How's that?
Right.
And I'm not nice about it. People say, oh, well, you're not nice, Deagle. I said, why in your delusional mind? I will die for the truth, and I certainly won't put up with it from anybody. Not anybody on Earth, professor or otherwise. I can cut up anybody because they don't know who Deagle is. Deagle is, I don't have a cape, and I don't fly at the speed of light, but intellectually and spiritually, I'm Clark Kent. I'm Superman. Not for my sake, but for the sake of the population of Earth that's dying from stupidity, inaction, and evil. That's what's going on.
Yeah. Earlier, you mentioned water vapor.
Right.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, water vapor absorbs far more heat than does carbon dioxide.
Exactly. And what they're doing now is actually, here's what they've done, and I demonstrated last Monday, not this Monday, but last Monday, when Deborah Tavares couldn't be on. I actually mentioned we had a lot of hits on our converted show to YouTube, etc. But I know all the science of what they've done to weaponize planet Earth. They put nanoparticle thorium, strontium, barium, aluminum in the upper atmosphere from the next generation from the HARP project, so they can steer earthquakes, volcanoes, and storm systems to either create drought or start fires and storms, and even have direct energy weapons in space, or undo weapons on drones to actually start fires. This is all by design. They don't want to talk about primary water. I spoke 2 days ago to Paul Power, who's in his 80s, who's Hungarian and from the Primary Water Institute in Northern California, and he can find primary water anywhere in the world. He's had trained people in 60 countries. What people need to understand is there's no shortage of water. It comes from the inside the mantle of the earth. And there's 10 times more water, like the Bible talks about the waters of the deep. There's 10 times more water in the ringwoodite that makes up the mantle of the earth than all the oceans, all the lakes, and all the water vapor in the atmosphere. People are lying pieces of garbage when they say that we're limited water. They're lying because they want to reduce the population, because they want to abort the human race that's destined to become the bride of the Most High God. These lying pieces of human garbage are indwelt by transdimensional entities. We need to pray for them, but we don't need to tolerate them. Stop tolerating evil and stupidity, whether it's in the church, in politics, or in pseudoscience in universities. They're all lying pieces of decaying human garbage. That's what they are.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more, Dr. Deagle. Unfortunately, the news media seems to have control of what information is dispersed.
We're advancing it. Now, what I'm doing today, and I talked to my tech guy, we've moved up since the summer to be on CRN Talk, the largest talk radio network on the planet out of LA. I have a radio network out of the UK. I now have bumped up to the most high-level premium video channel out of New York with Vimeo, live stream to YouTube and Facebook immediately, any videos. Up to 5 people at a time I can have anywhere in the world, all at one time. I'm now working at optimizations through Google and all the artificial intelligence technology because I'm an expert in AI. And I'll be putting out information that no one will be able to dispute anywhere on earth. If they want to come into my cage match, whether they're a host on another show or they think you're an intelligent person, take me on. I beg you. And you will die intellectually. You're not going to have a nice day. It's going to be vicious. I am an intellectual Viking. I will come with my claymore, 7-foot, vibrating blue steel sword, and I will chop you to bits. Because the death of the nation is caused by the death of spiritual truth, the death of intellectual truth, and the willingness to die for the truth, which is the only way we'll survive is we're willing to die for the truth.
Yeah. By the way, you're not the only one, Dr. Bill, that has Viking blood. So do I.
Right. Well, that's good because my name.
Swedish.
That's good. My wife is a J1C Viking, and my name Deagle is Norwegian Viking from Bergen, Norway. And in fact, in the 11th century, my ancestors, which are giant, 7'9", served the king of France, and later we descended to the shorter and shorter height because he married the shorter women in France, and including the Bethunes, that were the chief bankers for the cathedrals in France. So, what people need to understand, I have Viking spiritual warrior blood, and I am not going to put up with this crap. And same were my sons and the people that I know. We're just not. Once you get the truth in you, you realize you have to fight to the death or you will not survive.
That's right.
In fact, surviving requires you to be willing to die for the truth, because you won't survive if you're fearful of dying when you engage in battle. Right?
That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah. Which is why I'm willing to talk about this. I have people that call me. I talked to one gentleman this morning, Ken Klein, and he has a friend who knows a lot of intel. He's afraid to come on air. He's afraid to have his name out there. I said, you know what? If the intel agencies can track you down and you're not publicly available yet, you're a dead duck. They're going to kill your butt so quick you won't know you have one. If you know anything and you're being monitored by the intel agencies in your phone calls, unless you come public, they'll kill you so quick you don't know if you ever had a skin or a pulse. That's the facts, isn't it?
It certainly is.
So people that are cowardly will die cowardly. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's get into it. What I see happening is I really feel in my heart of hearts, and I prophesied this back in August, by September 12th we'd have a contact. I believe by the new year, you will be either video or audio connected or right in front of POTUS in one of the rooms outside the Oval Office. We are going to make contact, one way or the other. If I have to pay for the ticket myself out of my own money in gold or silver, I will do it. POTUS and you are going to have a conversation. He's going to hear the truth that he is deficient in information that's putting America and the world in danger. And I have solutions for health care and missile defense and many other things that will make this the greatest president we ever had.
Do you have have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
Legacy Emergency Foods is the top recommendation from Dr. Bill Deagle for the lowest oxygen concentration, the largest entrees, the highest amount of protein, the most varied entrees as well, and the longest food storage life. Nothing like Legacy Emergency Foods, and if you place a regular monthly order, you get 20% off and free shipping. Do get emergency foods for your supply for preparation and get it from Legacy Foods. Contact Dr. Bill Deagle for the link at NutriMedical.com. Go to the Shop by Products link and drop down message at NutriMedical.com and then place your orders for regular emergency food for yourself and your family. Nothing like emergency food if the power goes out and you can't go to grocery stores or if there's an emergency or a national crisis. So NutriMedical.com, top recommendation, Legacy Foods. NutriMedical.com, go to the Shop by Products and drop down menu and stay well with NutriMedical every day of your life. Lumen photon therapy, infrared light, far and near infrared, is extremely important for pain control, stimulation of nitric oxide, improved perfusion, and stem cell activation and reduction of cytokines. Dr. Bill uses it for pain control, for regeneration techniques, for organ regeneration, and for stimulation of your stem cell activity. This amazing lumen photon therapy this year will probably have an additional device with frequency therapy during the on phase of the lights. To obtain a lumen photon machine, contact Dr. Bill at NutriMedical.com, 888-212-8871. He'll prescribe it with the providing nutraceuticals to help with your regeneration, healing, and pain control. Nothing like the lumen photon therapy for easy therapy for your eyes, your pain, your joints, regeneration of organs, detoxification of the body. Get a lumen photon machine from Dr. Bill Deagle, NutriMedical.com, 888-212-8871. Stay well with NutriMedical. The Sonic Life Machine is one of the most amazing therapies that Dr. Bill provides. It is the best sine wave exercise machine on the planet, doing whole body vibration, opening up the muscle to reduce insulin resistance, improve perfusion, release stem cell therapies throughout the body, and epigenetically stimulate the body to release DNA activated. The epigenetic therapy with the sine wave curve of frequencies given for atomic resonance, but Linus Pauling for minerals and amino acids stimulates the production of messenger RNA to correct structural protein enzyme deficiency for almost every illness. There's nothing like the sine wave therapy for improving body healing for exercise, but also the epigenetic treatments Dr. Bill can provide can help neutralize frequencies for disease states and illness. Get a Sonic Life machine through Dr. Bill Deagle at NutriMedical.com. Contact us at NutriMedical.com, 888-212-8871, or go to the website NutriMedical and give us a contact. Dr. Bill is available to help you get well with NutriMedical.
Need a powerful ally to fight daily bugs and serious pathogens? Allicin Med is the powerful universal pathogen killer's latest advance of German-sourced allicin, enzymatically stabilized to clear the body of bacteria, fungi, mycobacteria, and parasites. It penetrates body biofilms and is non-toxic to tissues. Pathogen resistance cannot develop for long-term body-optimized wellness. Clear stealth pathogens that promote autoimmune disease, cancer and vascular inflammation and plaque and promote healing of tissues. Now pathogen-free. With 200 milligrams more power than prior Alamed, you can't get a more powerful ally to fight daily bugs and serious pathogens. Give your body what it needs. Allicin Med. Order Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutridyne at 888-212-8871 or NutriMedical.com. That's 1-888-212-8871 or NutriMedical.com. And listen to the NutriMedical Report on the Genesis Radio Network with open lines every weekday. NutriMedical.com, bringing nutrition and medicine together.
By the way, have you had a chance to glance over the email I sent?
You had one today?
Yeah, I sent it out less than an hour ago.
Let me look for it. Okay. And we're back. And you sent another email to me, John W., and I'm looking. Do you send it both to Hotmail and Gmail?
I sent it to both, I think.
I don't think so. I don't see it on my Gmail, but let me see if it's over my Hotmail.
Yeah.
Because it should be there.
Anyhow, until you find it, basically it deals with the Kurdish situation in northern Syria. Apparently, because Iraq has very strict border regulations, migration regulations, the Kurdish people who do not have passports, who are in the so-called buffer zone, which I call the killing fields,
right,
are unable to enter into Iraq, even though under the Treaty of Versailles at the end of World War I, all of that was supposed to be part of a new nation called Kurdistan.
Right. By the way, that means that they're in danger of genocide. And Trump being a moron, and he is a moron in some things, like he pulled out 28 people to stop it, but then he put tanks back in to protect the oil fields. Who for? I want to know who the heck is going to get the money from the oil fields. It was ISIS. Remember, ISIS was created by us. And I mentioned this the other day when I had on Thursday a special guest on the program, okay? And he was on, his book is Midnight in Samara, okay? And that is Frank Gregory Ford. Now, he was an intel agency that actually went through, and he was not only a mimetic, but also got an MD but never practiced because he has PTSD. But Baghdadi, the name Baghdadi, is a canonized saint of 2 centuries ago, and he's an Israeli agent, worked for the Mossad, the Saudi Arabian government, and the SAD, Special Activity Division of the CIA. I doubt if they've actually killed the real guy, just like they didn't kill Saddam. When they had Saddam Hussein in a prison after they took him out of that hole in the ground, his wife visited him, and the guy they had was 6 inches shorter with crooked teeth. It's my feeling that the guy they had was a double for Baghdadi that they killed. Now, they want to put this out as, he killed, after all this stuff about Ukraine, he was quivering in the back of the cave, and he blew up his vest and killed 3 kids. Yeah, 3 kids might have died, but I doubt if the guy was there, because remember, Baghdadi, they've announced that he was dead 5 previous times. Did you know that? 5 in the last 4 years. All right? Disgusting. So I don't believe it. When I actually have intel agents sent me photos 3 years ago of John McInsane, that's his name, by the way, even after he died, with actually selfie photos, smiling his ugly face off with his cell phone at the side of his head, causing his multicenter gastroglioma tumor that eventually killed him, smiling with ISIS in a town near Amman, where we gave him satellite phones and weapons. So we created ISIS. Al-Qaeda was our creation. In fact, the guy that was the head of Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan is Tim Osman, otherwise known as Osama bin Laden, the chief engineer that built the largest military air base in the world outside America, $55 billion, 100 miles from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. People don't know these intel facts. I do. I know everything. And I can tell you right now, we do great good in the world, we don't do great evil. So even Trump is benefiting from pretending that he killed Baghdadi. Baghdadi, I doubt very seriously if the guy Baghdadi's dead, and if he did, who cares? They'll have another fool that'll be taken over. And remember, the intel agencies, we want opposition in the Middle East. So our troops, and I have contacts from the troops, we rescued the leaders of Al-Qaeda and ISIS while we cleaned out the towns in Syria and Iraq. And we flew their leaders out with our helicopters to the chagrin and the shock of our troops. I have contacts that have told me this face to face, okay? So you have to understand, we are doing great evil in the Middle East, and we're maintaining the oppositional thing, just like we have 10,000 cells of Muslim terrorists in America. We have 42 live ammo training camps, including right outside New York. And we have 10.6 million Muslims that 52% would support Sharia law over state or federal law, and 20% would do violence. We could be monitoring every one of the damn mosques that got Wahhabism training in America, where they actually speak in Islamic code and tell their young people, first, second, and third generation, to train to be terrorists on orders to kill Americans. And we're not stopping any of it. We're allowing it. It's all by design. People don't get this, do they? The sheriff,
No, they
the
don't.
state and federal government know that this is going on, and they could stop it in an instant, but they don't. They collaborate with it. And that includes, by the way, the people that are working supposedly with Trump. If Trump doesn't know this, he's going to hear from Deagle. I don't know some of it. And the things that you think might be shielded from me, because I have a superior intellect and ability to search the internet, I have intel contacts inside all the agencies, and God's given me the gift of second sight, which means nothing on earth can be withheld from me if God tells me to pray on it. Nothing. I can know everything and anything about anything, and I see clear visions without ayahuasca, magic mushrooms, or any mind-altering drug. And that's on purpose, because God wants somebody like me, like the ancient prophets, to know things, to relieve the people and tell the truth that we, although we do great good in the world, we are the doers along with the British of the greatest evil. We are doers of evil, and in fact, the mark of the beast and the beast system and the New World Order, including the USMC Treaty, which Trump did with his son-in-law, who's a wizard, who worships Rabbi Schneerson, is the third zone of the 10 zones of the kings that give their power in the Project for a New American Century and the fall 1993 documents for Foreign Affairs Journal, CFR, Council on Foreign Relations, which, by the way, Netanyahu is a CFR member for 40 years. People need to realize what's going on here is abject evil called good. It's a lie. It's part of the liocracy. Interesting, eh?
Yes, it is.
So people say, you're not very restrained, Deagle. Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? Why don't you let your guests talk? I want them to talk, but I want them to collaborate. And, for example, I just had an interesting discussion with Josh Bernstein. Now, he dropped a call last week, and I haven't had him back on for now 2 weeks. That's because he wouldn't listen to me. He thought, well, I was interrupting him when he was talking. No. If I need to opine on something, I'm going to opine. If you disagree with me, I'm going to give you the intellectual reasons why. And I don't want to beat people up. I want them to be interested in their arguments and the evidence and the logic behind it. Opining is a logical term in Latin, meaning to have evidence and logic to get an indictment. People have attitudes where they just want to stick their butt in the air and say, I believe such and such. Your belief system means you have an attitude, not an opinion. Opinion requires logic and evidence. And if I'm going to say something with another guest on the air, you need to shut up and listen out there, people, because I have a damn good reason for it. I'm driven by the Spirit of God to tell you the truth, because our civilization's ready to die. America's ready to die. Even if this president gets in again, it doesn't mean he's going to protect us from incoming nuclear missiles, chemical or biological weapons, or a blackout. Donald Trump is a narcissist. He's very good at business. He's very good at increasing the economy for the rich and powerful. But the average middle class and poor person, there's not been an increase in actual income, except for a minor tweak to the upper middle class of $5,000 a year. But the fact is, in fact, the actual cost of living, they need to pass the tax breaks, which would have been passed if we hadn't had Russiagate and the Mueller documents held over, so the damn Democrats took over the House in the end of his second term. Trump would have passed those rules already and saved the middle class from economic devastation. And the demon rats want to push in socialism and bankrupt the country like this maniac Warren or Bernie Sanders Claus or the other socialists who believe in this, including Beto O'Rourke, who wants to grab our guns, and Buttigieg, this moron, who thinks he can kind of tweak the healthcare system without fixing it. I have fixes for the system that'll cost 1/5, cover everybody, and allow them to have anti-aging and life extension technology, reduce surgeries by 2/3 and drugs by 80 to 90%, and not force you to do stupid things that'll kill you or destroy your bone marrow, make you demented after chemo and radiation. Our system is sick, and we have gutless doctors, gutless politicians, and gutless churches who won't tell the truth. Right?
Yes.
I will tell the truth till I die, and the last mitochondria and oxygen molecule will depart. I will do the truth until my God says, come home, Deagle. Come up here. You've done your work. And if you don't have that attitude, you're not any use to God. You need to be willing to die for the truth, or God can't use you, can he?
That's so true.
Yeah. People say, oh, you think being a Christian is milk and cookies? No. Being a real Christian is Delta Force. Being a real Christian is Shema, hear and doing God's will. It's not making it up on your own and thinking, if I do enough things, God will like me. He loves you. He doesn't want to see you annihilated. God is the creator. He's also the destroyer. And if you run out of grace, you get his judgment, which is annihilation. It's not playing canasta or shuffleboard or having hot drinks in hell with somebody, Sammy Davis Jr. or Flip Wilson. It's annihilation alone in a fiery furnace of self-deprecation as your soul is annihilated forever. That's what it is. People need to face that and stop being gutless and end up with annihilation. And pray for those that are lost. Pray for Hillary Clinton with her trichotilliptian monster avataring her brain. Pray for John Podesta. Pray for the sexual perverts. Pray for the world leaders like Adam Schiff and Nadler and these other people that soon will, as they say, they'll leave their mortal coil, like Robbie Burns says. And when they leave it, as they say, hell becomes evident when the body drops away. When the body drops away, if you're in a heavenly relationship with God now, you go there because you're already there. And if you don't have a heavenly relationship, you become annihilated. That's the facts. And there's no such thing as a rapture of once saved, always saved. If you don't do God to the end of your life, you can go to hell, literally. God promised me that when he sent me back. And he saved me because I was willing to die for the truth and his fellow human beings. He said, I'll shake your ugly carcass and I'll make you a son again. And I want people to realize that God doesn't play games. He plays for keeps, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, and they don't take God seriously. They don't have a fear of God. You have to respect God, but you also have to fear him. Right?
Yes.
They don't have any fear. They're fools. They think, well, I'm a good atheist. I'm a good person. I give money to the poor. I do nice works. Yeah, people will like you when you annihilate and you disappear from the human race and you no longer exist. And when your body dies, your soul will be annihilated. You will cease to exist from the eternal realm. You think, oh, well, God's going to let me in. If everybody that was an evildoer and did their own will got to heaven, it would be called hell. Heaven would be hell, wouldn't it? Everybody doing their own thing. That's the definition of hell. Not doing the will of the eternal one, but doing your own will, because the only one that knows truth and justice and righteousness is God. No one else knows except for the Father. Period. Right?
That's so true.
Anybody who thinks otherwise is an idiot or a liar. And the churches that won't face this music about our nation's ready to die, half of the nation are saying they want to impeach Trump. How foolish, how crazy. Especially these young people gone to universities to be taught by communist, atheistic monsters. They're so-called professors of socialism and economics. They're idiots. They're liars. They're satanic rulers of darkness. And they themselves are in danger of their own eternal soul being annihilated. So, John, where are we going with this thing? What's your latest letter? I'm looking for it, and I don't see it. I think it got blocked, to be honest with you, because I looked for your email. It didn't get to me.
Strange.
What email did you send it to? Did you send it to drbilldeaglemd@gmail? Try to send it again. See if it gets through, because nothing would surprise me, because I've had NSA interfere with my radio broadcast, with my cell phone. You wouldn't believe the stuff I've had happen. To shut me up is not going to happen. The Lord God will keep me alive, even if I'm blind, deaf, and have to use a little video things from my mouth in order to connect to the computer. God will let me get the truth through to people, even if I'm a paralyzed, deaf and dumb, blind person. He will get the truth to the people. And when you trust God, he'll use you, right?
Yes.
People don't get that. They don't say, oh, well, milk and cookies, Christianity. I said, I'm not interested in your milk and cookies. I take God seriously. This is a final battle for the human race. This is it. This is not a rehearsal. This is not a warm-up. This is it. Right now, we have burning up Northern California. They're ready to just do AI to actually launch the mark of the beast, crash the world economy. They're ready with special forces from the United Nations embedded in our country for decades, ready to kill people that run out of ammo, as we talked about in the last hour with John Moore. You need to realize, people, you're not awake. I am Moshe for today, and I am awake, and I'm telling you, if you don't wake up into the truth and pray to the Most High God for his grace and truth, you will die, not only physically, but spiritually.
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria, from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in Central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com.
Red Deer Velvet DR is an amazing new product with a patent to preserve 300 biomolecules and 6 hormones, same as fetal life, where you don't age at all. The state of fetal life allows the 300 biomolecules and 6 hormones produced by the placenta to be supportive of the regeneration of tissues and organs, with maximum apoptosis, changing the tissue and organ structure of a fetus. That's why if fetal surgery is performed, there is no scar. Taking 2 to 3 capsules twice a day with oncomycin, myco-D2, provides an amazing support for regeneration of any tissue and organ in the body, and even advanced stem cell therapy support treatment. Do get NutriMedical's Red Deer Velvet DR from Dr. Bill Deagle at NutriMedical.com, NutriMedical.com, 888-212-8871. Stay well and stay young with NutriMedical. Hi, I'm Dr. Bill Deagle, MD, AAEM, ACAM, A4M, of NutriMedical.com, and a consultant providing email advice free on advanced protocols for your optimized wellness and advanced technologies to heal and regenerate you. You can contact us at NutriMedical.com, that's NutriMedical.com, or 888-212-8871. You get free email starter protocols of our top medical-grade nutraceuticals, initial testing, and recommendations for your own primary doctor to do, as well as recommendations to give you an idea of a consultation and a full protocol to try to help you regenerate your tissues, heal naturally without the use of toxic polypharmacy. I can send test kits to you as well anywhere in the world and provide you recommendations to referral of specialty clinics worldwide. So contact me, Dr. Bill Deagle, at NutriMedical.com. That's NutriMedical.com, or 888-212-8871. At NutriMedical.com, we have the most amazing drinks with the best mouthfeel, highest quality bionutrient exposure to your body to heal and regenerate, and the most powerful persistence of nutrients to heal your body dramatically. We have Ageless, which makes you age less, which repairs your DNA, extends your telomeres, etc. We have Life Support that detoxes phase 2 detox pathways, glucuronidation, sulfation, and methylation pathway support. We have Glycemics that blocks the carbohydrate absorption and helps with diabetes or weight loss, and as well helps with people that are trying to build up muscle, using things like our special formulas from Dr. Wolf called Mega Muscles between meals along with Sports Energy Light. We have the amazing Nutri-Complete, the most complete red and greens drink in the world, with the best mouthfeel and flavor. You can often mix it too with Vitamin Mineral Mix, which is our fruit-flavored mixed power of vitamin minerals. Stay well with NutriMedical every day.
I remember when I lost my
Yes, they do.
They don't want to destroy infrastructure. They want it to still exist. If a nuclear war happens, they won't have anything. America will be a burnt-out ashtray.
so much space.
So, little notice here, people. This is another example of the New World Order interfering. Both of my emails, I'm not getting them from you. It doesn't surprise me because the globalists and the Satanists that run this world know that if we get through to Trump and we get him to prepare America, because the globalists want America to surrender. They don't want America destroyed, just like we talked about an hour or two. They don't want to destroy with an EMP American power grids and oil treatment plants, etc. They want America intact but surrendered to a New World Order. And if they actually threaten us with advanced weapons that we can't defend against, the government, including Trump, will surrender. He'll surrender to world government. And we'll be safe again, but we're in the arms of the devil that run communist Russia and China, and we're in a New World Order with a borderless world that's controlled by Satanist, globalist, and transdimensional entities They're avataring our world leaders. You think I'm making it up? You're an idiot. You need to face the fact you're an idiot. And you're suicidally stupid, too, because you're going to kill yourself by believing that somehow our politicians are in control. That's why when Brennan and Clapper make the statement of, how dare you cross the New World Order and the deep state, we'll get you. We have a dozen ways of getting you. So people need to understand, when we can't get the emails to discuss these things on air, oh, it finally came through. Praise the Lord. They knew I'm actually saying it on air. Most Kurds in northern Syria unable to enter Iraq due to not having a current passport, so the Turks are now killing them. Okay? Please add some more detail to this, and it'll be posted up on today's show. Go ahead.
Okay. What we need to understand is that practically all of the Kurds that have been residing in the so-called buffer zone, which I call the killing fields, because that's what's occurring right now, that are trying to enter into Iraq to escape the Turks and even the Syrians who are trying to kill them.
Right.
The government of Iraq, with their offices, of course, in Baghdad, are not allowing them to enter because they do not have.
No, they are allowed to. The Syrian Bashar al-Assad member is a mild-mannered eye doctor with a British wife, and he is making an alliance with the Kurds. So the problem is to try to get to Syria through northern Iraq and the Iraqi controlled by the maniacs is very difficult. There's not easy to cross that land bridge to get into Syria and Damascus. So the result, they're going to genocide them, and Trump is stupid enough to let the Kurds, who are allies, to actually get genocided, just like the Christians and Jews are the only ones sitting at the table with the Alawite Muslims, because it's the only version of Islam that honors the Virgin Mary, etc., and Jesus. People don't realize that Alawites honor Mary and Jesus. People don't get that, do they? They realize that they're not like other Muslims. There's all different kinds of, we call them subtypes of Islam. And the Iranians want the Mahdi to show up after the 12 Imam. And the Turks, the craziest guy in all, is not the mullahs in Iran. It's Erdogan. This guy is the most insane, narcissistic maniac in modern history. He's extremely dangerous. He even asked Trump last week for nuclear weapons. Believe it or not.
Yeah. I believe it. And unfortunately, the advice that Trump is getting
is suicidally stupid.
In this whole mess, and unless we get to Washington very soon. Now, another thing I'm asking people to do, when you post that letter up,
right.
Dr. Deagle, I'm asking everyone listening to this program to, first of all, go to your website. You might want to give that out to them again. But the important thing is we have to bombard the president and the White House with phone calls and similar email letters. Otherwise, the Kurds are going to be killed in very large numbers. And this is something.
Yeah, in other words, they need to bombard them, and I'll put up the links to get a hold of the president. People need to realize that we bombard them with thousands of emails and registered letters. Maybe it goes through the phalanx of maniacs that are preventing Trump from getting direct contact. Because if Trump realizes that we're not morons, we are patriots, and we are Christians, and he says he's a Christian, he wanted to build a glass cathedral before he even went into politics, that Trump needs to realize that he has extreme black zones of blindness in his intel information he's receiving, and you can't operate the presidency like a game show host. That's what he's doing. He's surrounded by maniacs on the left and right and intel agencies that are actually trying to screw up his presidency and make him make stupid decisions. That's the facts. Right?
Yes. Yes. This situation is urgent.
Right. And people need to realize he's not going to be able to do it on his own. In fact, without your help, John F. Kennedy would have. He took it seriously. You know why he took it seriously? And I know this from my contacts. He took it seriously because he was dying of Addison's disease with adrenal failure. Facing his own death and facing his ultimate, we call final day with the Most High God, he was willing to accept your truth. And that's the reason why John F. Kennedy, in violation of his father, who was a criminal, involved with the drug cartels and bringing in illegal alcohol and becoming wealthy because of it, John F. Kennedy was a righteous man because he was dying. That's why. Did you know that?
Yes.
He was dying.
Yes.
When they killed him and shot him in the head, he was already dying of Addison's disease. Most people don't know that, do they?
No.
No. None of the average knucklehead. You know, I saw his original autopsy before it got classified. He was not killed by the guy in the book depository up on that floor. He was killed by at least 3 individuals shooting at different angles. I saw the skull fragments and the actual entry and exit points of the brain and everything. I'm a forensic pathologist as well. These lying pieces of garbage try to say he was died from one guy up in the book depository are lying. And they killed the guy up in the book depository, who, by the way, was a bioweaponeer working in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on biological weapons back in the 60s. Did you know that? He wasn't even an intel agent. He was a bioweaponeer. Did you know that?
No, I really did not.
You didn't know that he was a bioweaponeer. He had nothing to do with special forces or anything. He was brought in there as a monkey to be shot and pretended that he was the guy that killed the president. He couldn't even shoot a gun properly straight, let alone killing the president from that angle and causing the entry and exit points of his brain. The people that said this are liars. That's why they still keep his brain autopsy and classified. I saw the original report before it became classified. All right? You want to argue with me, people out there? I'll give you I have a photographic memory. I'll tell you all the exquisite pathological details of what I saw back in the 70s. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not open to your damned opinion. Well, I have an opinion. No, you have an attitude. And I won't put up with it. As I would tell people who are going to die from stupidity, arrogance, and self-centered attitude of thinking, well, I think I know better than you, Diggle. No, you don't. Just face it. You don't. Okay? And people say, well, shut up, Diggle. Let your guest talk. You need to shut up and listen when I have to opine. So, John, when you put this out about the Kurds, Trump is killing the Kurds now. He's genociding them by doing his stupid movements, isn't he? And now
Yes.
The winners are the Russians, the Turks, the Iranians, and Hezbollah. How stupid. And now this puts Israel in grave danger. In fact, the Israelis are freaked out completely by it. In fact, there's some movements inside Israel of whether they're going to make preemptive attacks on Iran now. Do you know that this is actually forcing Israel to think about bombing the reactor in western Iran near Esfahan, the Bashar reactor? Do you know that? Do you know that these events by Trump, this moron Trump, actually is pushing the Israelis to think about a preemptive nuclear attack against the centrifuges making the nuclear weapons in Iran?
Yes. Very few people are aware that it was just a couple months ago that Turkey and Iran reached an agreement or made a treaty.
Right.
And when you consider that Iran has a strong sphere of influence into Baghdad and the regime that's currently in power there now, which is very pro-Iranian, basically, as soon as we pull out of Iraq, the game's over completely.
Well, what we've done now is we've guaranteed that Israel has to attack Bashar, that Israel will face Hezbollah firing intermediate-range missiles that can hit Israeli cities and settlements with accuracy down to so many cubic meters, that they can have nuclear-tipped or chemical biological-tipped weapons, which guarantees that the Samson option is going to happen, which means the Israelis have nukes in every capital of every country on Earth, including some of the most advanced nuclear weapons and battlefield nukes, which the Israelis are experts on, and their own space image satellite based weapon systems that they have, which in many ways is technology we don't even have. And if you think the Israelis aren't going to use it against any stupid country attacking Russia or China or anybody, you're a moron. They're not going to be subjugated again. They're just not. So anybody who thinks that, well, if you kill all the people in Tel Aviv, do you think that the people in Tehran are going to survive? Not. Do you think the people in Moscow or Beijing are going to survive? Not. Do you think that any Muslim city within 10,000 miles will have any live human being that hasn't had their bones etched with uranium and turned into nuclear dust? You're an idiot. Every Muslim on earth will die at the hands of the Israelis if they try to attack Israel. People don't get that, do they? And that means also the thermonuclear war, 300 million Americans will hold up their hand and see it for the last time when they see a blast of X-rays. And they'll see without an X-ray film the bones in their hand as the thermal blast hits their body and their cells explode at 50,000 degrees, superheated steam, and they turn into dust and face their maker. People say, oh, that won't happen. You're a blithering moron. It could happen because it's virtually guaranteed by the current events of the moron Trump, guaranteeing that Israel now has to attack Bashar. We are so close to Armageddon now, it's sickening, isn't it?
Yes.
And Trump's actions and the actions of his advisors have actually hastened that thing. including his moron son who's a wizard who follows Rabbi Schneerson and set up USMC, which, by the way, improves trade for America, but it's the third zone of the World Trade Zone system set up under the New World Order that's in the Council on Foreign Relations fall 1973, which is setting up the 10 kings that will have power to the beast for 1 hour. And by the way, the mark of the beast is not coming from Beijing or Moscow or South Africa or Tokyo. It's coming from America. We are the beast. And no one else on earth is saying that except for Dr. Deagle. No one. And you know why I said? God forced me to know it. He said he sent the angel to show me back in 1993, October 10th. And then on July 10th, 9 months to the day later, I walked through the same facilities in the flesh, including Shreve Air Force Base, Atmel, and other corporations, Sun Microsystems, Lucid Technology, as the angel brought me. This is not open to your damned opinion. I'm putting it in my videos. It'll be up on my private video channel. This is not open to your damned opinion. You need to face the music that we are so close to annihilation now you can't even imagine it. Without prayer, without repentance, without Trump seeing and facing you directly, so we have missile defense and we actually strip the Russians for their nukes and actually shut down their bank accounts, without doing things with China, who wants to take over commercial production of every commercial good and even take over AI for the beast system. They've actually put it in the documents. Mr. Xi, the new emperor of China, has actually put in his public documents translated from Chinese. It's not open opinion. You can just read, stupid. Read it. And people, oh, that's your opinion, Deagle. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy ugly fact, isn't it?
Yes.
And the Kurds, by the way, sacrificing the Kurds, you got to remember, the Kurds were my ancestors, because when my ancestor was brought, there was the descendant of Moses, he married the daughter of the king of the Medes and took on their tribal name called the Naimi. So the Naima families, including people like Henry L. Nyman, who's a virologist, are my relatives. We're the descendant of Kurds or Medians, and the Kohanim from descendant of Moses. They were the ones that gave the gifts, because they were astrologers, to Jesus when Jesus was born. They were the Magi, my ancestors, from Western Iran, from Media. And they don't have their own nation since World War I. They've been slaughtering them for the last century, haven't they?
Yes.
And that's by design by the globalists. They don't want the Medians or the Kurds to survive. Most of Western Turkey, most of north of Syria, almost all of Western Iran is all Kurdistan. In fact, if they actually accumulated the entire population, it'd probably be around 100 million and cover a larger territory than any other nation in the Middle East. Kurdistan doesn't exist because they don't want the people to exist. And now they don't even have passports to travel through Iraq to Syria, where Bashar al-Assad would probably accept them down there. So they're dying. And Trump, you're a moron. You're putting the Kurds in danger, and you're sacrificing Christians and Jews, which will continue to be sacrificed if Bashar al-Assad dies or falls. All the Jews and Christians that are treated with respect in his government, they'll be slaughtered by the Iraqis and the Hezbollah and the Iranians and the Turks who want to kill them all. So you think you're doing right? You're an idiot, aren't you? Facts, isn't it? Ugly facts. People want to think, well, I want to vote for Trump, but he better damn well listen, or he's going to listen now at the judgment seat. One or the other. You have a choice, Trump. Listen now, or God's going to say, get over here, Deagle. Did Trump say this and do this? Because one way or the other, he's going to listen now or later. Right?
Yes. Absolutely.
Which is